on this gorgeous Tuesday, actually very, very fucking hot Tuesday, excuse me, July 27th, 2021, ready to talk about football, like always. I mean, that's what we do on this show. We got to get you guys set straight. You know what? We just got to get you the news, bring you guys, make sure you're getting your fix. Now, the past couple days, things have really began to pick up, being that training camp has just begun to get underway. There are a couple teams that have, like 5 more practices than the others, but that's just how, the cookie crumbles in the NFL. Okay, we've seen the Cowboys videos, we've seen Steelers go out there, and most teams now are in training camp as we speak. Okay, and we're getting a lot of questions answered. One of them we will talk about here shortly. Actually, 2 of them we will talk about here in a little bit. Okay, but today we got a couple pretty decent pieces of information to give all of you guys, to bring to all of you guys' attention, excuse me. Can't speak today. That's okay, though. So, let's get started, huh? Are you ready to get your fix? Well, to get started, we got a huge addition, okay, to a team that has been looking for another wide receiver, and I'd say they've been looking for this wide receiver probably, the past 2 years, okay, maybe 3 years. That team just happens to be the Minnesota Vikings, okay? They signed former Jaguars receiver Dede Westbrook Sunday afternoon. Now, to execute this signing, the Minnesota Vikings had to waive or cut 6th-round draft pick Jalen Tymon. Now, he has been recovering and actually was on pace to start preseason. He's recovering from 4 gunshot wounds that he suffered in Washington while he was out visiting some family members. And like I said, he was on pace to start training camp, probably limited participation, but for sure be there for preseason. Now, this is definitely a bummer, obviously, for Tymon, but, the move had to be done, and it had to be made, especially with the Vikings not really having a legit third-string wide receiver. Okay, they have plenty of depth at the defensive line. Okay, so that means, Jalen, being a 6th-round pick, was one of those guys that were on their board saying, hey, we can waive him. He got, suffered a pretty gruesome injury, if you will. I don't know how else you want to put it other than injury or gunshot wounds, whatever you want to say. But, the Vikings have not had a solid 3 receivers since probably, Jarius Wright when he was there. And there's a couple other names I can name off. Laquan Treble didn't really pan out. But there hasn't really been that third-string solid receiver that the Minnesota Vikings have had. And now they got that. Okay, I really, really like this signing of Dede Westbrook. Okay, because now the Vikings actually have a trio at wide receiver that, for the most part, I think us as Vikings fans or people around the world, that they can trust this trio going forward. I mean, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, and now Dede Westbrook. Before, we were really unsure who would take that third string spot. Okay, we had Chad Beebe, Olabisi Johnson was there, and there's others obviously in the mix. But Dede Westbrook was obviously, the best choice for the Minnesota Vikings going forward, especially when you can just bring Chad and BC Johnson or Olabisi Johnson in when they actually need it, when Thielen or Justin or Dede need a break. Okay, they're really good role players. They can play the 4 and 5 string or 5th string and come in and do the best they can to put up stats similar to that of Thielen, Jefferson, and what Westbrook will be doing. Now, Westbrook brings a lot of speed, which would be very nice if the Vikings play him at the slot position. Okay, bringing speed, it's like CeeDee Lamb, okay? Not too big of a frame. I believe he's I think it was 5'10", 178 pounds, something like that. Not too big, okay? But quick enough to play that slot, to get those quick routes, or even just, open up and do a fly route, okay? Last season, Westbrook only played 2 games, okay? And he only had 1 reception, but he did suffer an injury, okay? So that obviously has to play a role in that. But the years before last season, Westbrook was looking like a very, very solid backup to DJ Chark of the Jaguars. Okay, in 2018, he had 717 yards, 5 touchdowns on 66 receptions. And then 2019, he had 660 yards, 3 touchdowns on 66 receptions as well. Okay, he averages over 10 yards a catch when he's completely healthy and he plays an entire season. That's huge. That's a first down every single time you get him the ball. I mean, obviously, first downs are 10 yards out. I mean, if you don't, the only way you don't know that is if you don't watch football or have no idea what the hell football is, okay? 10 yards, first down. All right. We got to that point. Now, this is a huge addition to the Vikings offense. Okay, they now, like I just noted earlier, they have a legit trio at wide receiver. Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, Dede Westbrook. Sometime only 2 of those people will be on the field. And it's nice to have that depth there to really, solidify, or to really make sure that we have the right guys at the right time, in the right position, and in the right play calling system, I guess. I'm trying to think of how to word that better. You guys probably, hopefully, get the gist. Whatever. It is what it is. But now the Vikings, with this signing, have arguably one of the best all-around offenses in the NFL, with plenty of talent at wide receiver, running back, and tight end. Quarterback, I mean, you can do what you will with this piece of information, but he's good, not great. He's going to put up the similar stats every single year, over 4,000 yards, over 20 touchdowns, over 10 interceptions. Okay? It's just, can he win those big games? Probably not. Can he get them to the playoffs? Probably. Who knows? I mean, he can. He has the ability to. Can he win playoff games? If he can't win, Monday night, Sunday night, primetime games, right now, from what the facts and what the stats have showed us, he won't. But we go season by season. Every season is a new year, okay? Things can change. He could do phenomenal things for us. But the Vikings having this all around, one of the top offenses in the NFL, is huge, okay? Last year, they were hit and miss, a little bit here and there. But a lot of that had to do with our defensive play, or the defense play of the Minnesota Vikings. They were all pretty young, didn't really know how to play the game to their full potential. Where year 2, I think a lot of these rookies are going to come in, or a lot of the rookies from last year are going to come in their second year and make a massive improvement, especially with Mike Zimmer being, a cornerback-minded, head coach. Okay, he's going to be that guy to really put a flame under their butt, if you will. Okay, it's kind of like Bill Belichick. He's going to set that defense up nicely and then punch you in the mouth with the offense, okay, and make sure that they get the dub. Now, the Vikings, going back to Kirk, all they need to have this offense be top 5, top 10, maybe top 8, something like that, is Kirk fucking Cousins to take this ball, drop back, and if nobody's open, fucking throw that bitch away. That's all you need to do. I mean, that fucking easy, folks. That easy. It's not that hard. Kirk just can't figure out how to do that. He can't get in the top of his mind that, hey, no one's open. I'll just keep it right here, snug. So maybe I get sacked, fumble the ball, throw the balls just stupidly picked off. I mean, the list goes on. So if Kirk Cousins can throw the ball away, this is going to be a very, very fun Vikings offense to watch this season. Defensively, if Dede works out, shouldn't have as much pressure on themselves as they have had the past 2 seasons. Hopefully. Because still with it being a young defense, you're really unsure of how they're going to, the chemistry-wise, how they're going to play together, especially with a couple people coming back. You got Sheldon Richardson that we signed from the Browns. You got Michael Pierce coming out. He opted out last season. He is here this season. Jeepers. Excuse me. But you got, like I just said, Michael Pierce coming back. Then we signed Patrick Peterson this offseason. So this defense is looking up. Okay, this is going to be a better year for the Minnesota Vikings. I think they're going to have a really good chance at breaking into the playoffs this year. But really, it just all goes back. You got to take week by week and piece by piece and make sure, you have the right people in place. You have the right offensive scheme, defensive scheme in place. And you just hold the opposing teams from scoring as much as we have in the past, okay? So overall, signing Dede Westbrook was a great signing by the Minnesota Vikings. So expect a pretty solid season, I'd say. So with that being said, let's switch gears to the quarterback of the Houston fucking Texans, Deshaun Watson. For now, at least, he's the quarterback there. That's right, folks. We finally got some goddamn news on Deshaun Watson, and it's about damn time. I think the last time we talked about him was maybe, I think like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, something like that, when all these, sexual assault allegations came out, and I think there was like 23 women that came forward and whatnot. It's none of my business. I'll focus on getting those, news, or getting that news pieced together as stuff starts to come out, as, they start, investigating more and blah, blah, blah. Well, back to Deshaun Watson, okay? He has decided to show up for training camp. And, he had to do this, obviously. He had to do this in order to dodge $50,000 worth of fines every single day that he misses training camp, with $50,000 every single day, especially when some of these training camps are weeks, a whole month's worth. That is a lot of cash, okay? And I think we all agree on that one. He did not want to pay $50,000 this thing every day, and who wouldn't, or who would, obviously. Now, however, the most interesting part of this whole ordeal, okay, is that with Watson obviously still wanting out of the Houston Texans organization, they have been just awful. They haven't helped Watson out at all. They haven't gotten weapons. When they did have a weapon with DeAndre Hopkins, him and the head coach / GM, can't even think of his name, Bill O'Brien, didn't see eye to eye, traded him to Arizona for a second fucking round pick. Blew my mind. I don't understand that. And I guess David Johnson, if you will, so maybe that's why I was only second. But really, you're going to get rid of his weapon. Don't have anything else besides Randall Cobb there, who actually won't be there this season as well. He's going to probably get traded to the Green Bay Packers, as that is in the mix here now. We'll get to that later. But, defensively, they had a couple key pieces. J.J. Watt, Bernard McKinney, he's not there no more. So they literally have taken that team, thrown it in the air, and just shot it away. Didn't care what they were building. Didn't care that, being a new team, they should have already been in the place to have a pretty solid roster at this point, at least. And said, fuck it. Let's start over. Let's go get, Davis Mills from Stanford. That's our quarterback. That's the guy that's going to run this organization. Okay, good for you guys, because you're not going to do shit with him back there. He's a rookie quarterback, drafted, 4th, 5th round, 6th round, something like that. If he turns out to be like Tom Brady, hey, fucking kudos to you guys, Texans, because found a diamond in the rough, obviously. But I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, it's really tough to have that happen. But with him wanting out, with Watson wanting out, the Texans have finally decided to open their goddamn ears and listen to other teams for a possible trade. Remember, like a month and a half, 2 months ago, they were very, very adamant on not trading Watson at all. At all. The Texans front office went out and said that they've been running things lately as if Watson has never even been, never been on the team in the first place. Pretending that Watson was not even there. That's what they've been doing this entire time since all this has worked out, since he said, I want to trade, I want to get out of here. So, if you're running things without his name in mind, Deshaun Watson, why the hell are you now willing to listen to other teams? Makes no sense. If you knew that this time was going to come, this day was going to come, you could have already been done and over with this situation. Didn't have to worry about it anymore. Okay? It just blows my mind. I don't understand. I get it that Watson possibly could have changed his mind, but let's be real. That just wasn't going to happen. Okay, things aren't working out in Houston. Houston is in shambles right now, looking like, the New York Jets, even though they're trying to start to look towards, the future, with Zach Wilson and their running back. I forgot who they got. But they're starting to look up. They're trying to look up. Elijah Moore, their wide receiver, I think he got placed on the COVID-19 and PUP list. So who knows? Okay, this Houston Texans team is just not cutting it this year. Okay, they're going to be bad, very, very bad. And I don't care that they got Anthony Miller from the Bears this past couple days ago, I guess. It's not going to help. It's not going to make Watson stay or want to stay. I mean, he had Will Fuller last year, and I think Will Fuller and Anthony Miller are pretty similar. I think Anthony Miller is a little bit better, obviously, because he has dealt with shittier quarterbacks. And if you pair him with Watson, it's going to be awesome. Hopefully Watson decides to stay, but if he doesn't, more than likely he won't. Good luck. That's pretty much the gist of it. Now, this is literally why, okay, the Texans are one of the worst teams and one of the worst run organizations in the NFL. Okay, a GM and head coach combined as one. Didn't work out. Wasted all your fucking money. Traded away one of your top players, or actually your top fucking receiver. And now your team is, literally everybody's leaving. Okay, J.J. Watt left. Bernard McKinney's gone. Deshaun Watson wants out. DeAndre Hopkins obviously left. What are you guys doing? What is ownership doing? Nothing? Are they sitting back, smoking a cigar, and just, oh, you want to trade Watson? Fuck it. Do it. Hopkins? Get him out of here. We'll win a Super Bowl. No, you're not gonna. Hell no. Not with that mindset, you're not. I'm telling you right now. You should have kept Hopkins. You shouldn't have let J.J. Watt walk away. And to avoid all of this, actually, you guys should have won some more fucking games. Got a better head coach, other than Bill Dumbass O'Brien, excuse my language, but proof is in the pudding, folks. When you start eating and you see a little mold, throw it away. Bill O'Brien was that mold. And it screwed up the Texans organization for at least the next 2 to 3 years, maybe 5 years. Yeah, they're in a very, very bad situation. They literally have wasted their damn time on things that just won't work out. Like the last couple of years. They've wasted their time. Haven't got Watson their weapons that they needed. Got rid of them, actually. Haven't boosted their defense. Haven't gotten them a solid running back. David Johnson coming off an ACL injury, or an Achilles, one of the two. You can't expect him to go out there and have an Adrian Peterson type season. Because let's be honest, the only person that could probably do that is Adrian Peterson himself, which he did. Okay, so he's not going to be a top-tier running back. He can get the job done every once in a while. He's not going to rush for, 1,500 yards, 1,600 yards. It's just not going to happen. Okay, you're going to expect at least, from 800 to 1,000 maybe. That's what you're going to get. They could have had this deal done so long ago, getting Watson out of there, trading him away to somebody else. Now they have to figure out how to trade Watson and figure out what is a good enough, trade. What is a good enough deal to get Watson out of there, to bring in other people. Now they're stuck trying to have to do this deal just as training camp is starting, which is a headache that they should have never had in the first place. At all. Okay, it's just like you wake up in the morning, you shower, and you're having a good old day, and then all of a sudden you look at your wall and you're like, you know what? I'm going to bang my head on this. And just, boom! For no reason. And then an hour later, you're like, God, that hurts. You're like, no shit. You just headbutt at the wall. This is what the Texans are doing. They're causing themselves headaches, literally. They could have had this done, over with, a month and a half, 2 months ago. Watson's done. He's not going to play for the Texans, regardless if he's reporting for training camp or not. He's going to take snaps. You're probably not going to tell him a lot of the playbook, even though he's already knows the playbook, probably. You're going to have to change a lot of it up. So there fucks your team a little bit more, because wherever he goes, he's going to tell them exactly what's going on, and obviously being the NFL, you're going to switch it up. Okay, this is just madness. I don't understand. There are plenty of trade suitors out there for Watson, and from what has been reported, from what I've heard, they all have done their research and their homework on Watson's pending lawsuit. Okay, Watson has not been put on the exempt list, and his civil cases actually won't go to trial this year at all. So he can play this whole entire season. Unless, obviously something crazy pops up, and then they're like, oh, hell no. You gotta sit down, because you're not playing. But until then, there are plenty of guys out there. And also, as Tom Pelissero reported, like we talked about earlier, the price is going to be high. What is a good enough trade? And he said the price for Watson is very high, and it would likely take at least 3 first-rounders and more to land Watson. It's a lot. It's a lot for Watson. A lot of teams have been trying to call you, trying to pick up Watson, probably going to give you a decent amount of, picks like you want. And yet you're just like, no. And then like a month later, you're like, you know what? We've been running this like he hasn't even been here. Ship him out. Let's get rid of him. Like, I don't know, guys. Like, this is a no-brainer, obviously, with how high the price is for Watson. Because he's literally been the heart and soul of that Texans organization for quite some time, since he's actually been drafted. Okay? Just like Aaron Rodgers, who we will get to in a second, a couple possible teams I could see Watson end up in would be like Washington football team, the Denver Broncos, the Las Vegas Raiders, and possibly the Philadelphia Eagles. That one popped up in my mind, and I was like, okay. You get a better version of Jalen Hurts. I mean, yeah, you're not really 100% sold on or sure of what really is going to happen with Watson in the future with all these civil cases. So what do? You bring in Watson, let Jalen learn again, or what? I don't know. The Eagles seems like a pretty decent opportunity for Watson. Okay, so with the asking price pretty high, obviously, I do believe that we're going to see a Watson trade at some point within the next couple days to weeks, as training camp is obviously underway. Okay, they're not going to keep him there for long, especially when they know he's not going to be part of the team, the organization. They're going to get rid of him. Okay? Well, the time has come, folks. Finally, some fucking news on the Aaron Rodgers situation with the Green Bay Packers. That's right. Yesterday, I believe, the news broke that the Packers and Rodgers are close to an agreement that would bring him back to Green Bay for at least, this season. That's right. He is staying as a Green Bay Packer, folks. Now, Rodgers' current contract has him tied to the Packers until the 2023 season. With this agreement, though, the 2023 year on his contract would be voided with no tags allowed in the future. Now, all this was reported by Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter. They all kind of pieced it together here and there. Whatever they kind of heard, they put up. Now, Rodgers' contract would be adjusted also with no loss of income this year to give the Packers actually more cap space, more cap room, which is huge. Okay, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, Rodgers, obviously, if you've seen the pictures today, he has reported for training camp finally. Okay, and with the reworked contract, Rodgers will actually have a say in his future for the 2022 and 2023 year. So, what that pretty much means is he has the opportunity to be like, you know what? I'm not going to be a Green Bay Packer next year. I'm test free agency out. Okay? Same with 2023. Unless he signs, a contract with somebody else. Okay? Now, this is incredibly huge for the Packers as they also have recently cut off contract talks with superstar wide receiver Devontae Adams. Okay, we talked about this earlier. With Rodgers making this new agreement with his contract, freeing up cap room. This is an opportunity for the Packers to finally continue or to pick up again conversations with Davante Adams to try to sign him to the contract that he thinks he deserves. Okay? If the Packers lose both Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams next year, good luck. That's all I got to say about that. Because what else do they got? Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. I mean, Jordan Love, we don't know. I mean, the only thing we've heard is that he hasn't been that great. Okay, he's been really hit and miss. It's going to be tough. But also, this contract agreement with bringing back Aaron Rodgers. Dude went 13-3 the last 2 seasons. Went to the NFC Championship 2 years ago. Didn't do so hot last year. Lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before the NFC Championship game because my boy Brady over here is the ultimate GOAT, the greatest of all time. But this is huge for the Packers. Okay? Every Packer fan out there, every Packer teammate of Aaron Rodgers was wondering, dude, is this guy going to fucking return? Is he going to play for us? Like, what's going to happen? Nothing's going on. He's, dodging questions left and right. And they're like, Rodgers, is he going to play in Green Bay? He's like, we'll see. I don't know. We'll have to find out in the coming weeks. And then you got this report of his house getting deep clean, him having the automatic renewal on the country club membership. And it's just like pieces of the puzzle are starting to come together. What's going to happen? Bam. Rodgers is back in Green Bay. Huge news. Okay, I'm pumped. Because the thing about this whole agreement and with Rodgers not agreeing and not wanting to play for GM Brian Gutekunst is we could be in for one hell of a season. You all watched, or at least hopefully you guys all watched Michael Jordan's The Last Dance documentary. Well, we might be just fucking witnessing Aaron Rodgers' Last Dance documentary in person. We all get to witness it. Is this the last time Aaron Rodgers wears a Green Bay Packer uniform? Hopefully. Because with him in the NFC North, Green Bay always has a fucking chance. Every single year. The dude's a magician. Okay? This might be the greatest year Aaron Rodgers will have on his career. Might be. Last year he won the MVP. He might win it again. With even better stats. Watch him throw at least under 5 interceptions. Probably 40 touchdowns. Maybe 35, 40. Something like that. Probably 4,500 yards passing. The dude is going to ball out. Make Green Bay wish they would have never A, hired Brian Gutekunst, and B, left him out of all their decisions, like drafting Jordan Love, not getting him a weapon, even though Amari Rodgers looks like a pretty solid piece. Hopefully, him and Rodgers connect pretty well this season. But let's go back with the weapons. They did try to get him a weapon, or they are trying to get a weapon, like we mentioned earlier. They're looking to trade and try and bring back wide receiver Randall Cobb, who was with Rodgers for quite some time. As much as I like Randall Cobb, and as much as the Green Bay Packers probably like Randall Cobb, and as much as Aaron Rodgers likes Randall Cobb, you still could have had Brandon Ayuk, still could have had Justin Jefferson, still could have had I mean, I'm pretty sure the list goes on. You guys could have had a lot more than what you got. Okay? It's just, I don't know. This is going to be, I'm very excited to watch the Green Bay Packers. I know that's weird for me to say, but I'm very excited because knowing and seeing, not really knowing, but having the possibility of this being Rodgers' last season of a Green Bay Packer, or being a Green Bay Packer. Like I said, he's going to ball out. And he's not going to care what you like about it, what you hate about it, what you got to say about it. He's going to go out there and he's going to put the Green Bay Packers on his shoulder and single-handedly carry them to the playoffs and probably pretty far in the playoffs. Okay, this is a good team with Aaron Rodgers. Without him, you don't know what you're really going to get. But with him, you do know. Okay, and they still have every single weapon that they had last year and the year before. So watch out for Aaron Rodgers as he, for right now, as what is assumed to be, is going to make his last dance in the NFL, folks. That is right. So let's be ready for Aaron Rodgers. Fucking one hell of another MVP season, because I can see it coming. And if not, who knows? I mean, but from what I can think up and what my opinion is going to be, if it is his last year, watch out for the rest of the NFL. Please, just watch out. This man is going to go on a tear. Well, that is all I got for you guys today, as things are really starting to heat up around the league, obviously, with, training camp getting underway and whatnot. And then we actually have some stuff to fucking talk about. There's actually, news, there's stories, there's, all these rumors and stuff like that. Finally, there's probably going to be a couple injuries that training camp's, gotten underway. Unfortunately, that's just how the cookie crumbles in the NFL. You're going to have at least one or two injuries. But yeah, okay. Now with these developments popping up, things are going to get probably a little bit more interesting, quite a bit, and I couldn't be any more excited to be able to bring that news to you guys. And like I said, in the future, obviously, I think probably at the end of this football season, we're going to start incorporating a couple different sports, so that we have a lot to talk about every single day at 6, probably for an hour. We're going to just bam, bam. There you go. You know what I'm saying? We're going to give you the information. That's all we're going to do. Okay? So with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Like always, hopefully you guys have continued to tune in. I know I've got a lot of praise over the past couple weeks that people are like, yeah, I've seen your show a couple times. Awesome. I love it. Keep up. Keep watching. Spread, share all these videos. Get your fix. Let's make this a movement, folks. Okay? Let's do that. So we'll see you Thursday at 6 p.m., obviously, like always. And you just got your fix with the Wicks. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.